We started our backpacking trip to Echo Lake at the Sabrina Lake trailhead. We hiked to Blue Lake, pitched our tent, and then did an out and back short hike to an overlook where we could see Baboon Lake. We didn't go all the way to Baboon Lake because the weather was a bit questionable in the afternoon. Overall, we hiked for 8 kilometers or 5 miles with an elevation gain of 600 meters or 2,000 feet and an elevation loss of 190 meters or 600 feet. The trail is easy, and the new trail leading all the way to Baboon Lake makes this last part of our hike even easier. On our second day, we hiked to our favorite campsite next to Moonlight Falls in the middle of Sabrina Basin. This is one of our favorite parts of the Sabrina Basin hike because you can see a lot of wonderful lakes and mountains, and you're really in the middle of a true wilderness area. The hike was only 5 kilometers or 3 miles long with an elevation gain of 220 meters or 730 feet. The trail is easy to follow, and only the last part to the Moonlight Falls requires a little bit of route finding. In the afternoon, we did a little cross-country hike to Echo Lake. Starting from Moonlight Falls, we followed a faint trail along Moonlight Lake, and then we followed the outlet to Echo Lake. The trail should never be more difficult than Class 2, and Echo Lake is easy to find if you know the overall direction. Echo Lake is really spectacular and definitely worthwhile the excursion. The hike was 4.7 kilometers or less than 3 miles long round trip with an elevation gain and loss of 200 meters or 700 feet. On our third day, we hiked to Hungry Packer Lake on a trail and then climbed a rocky ridge overlooking Hungry Packer Lake to a viewpoint where we could see Echo Lake from above. The ridge is not more difficult than Class 2, and if you follow it all the way, it leads actually to Echo Lake. The day hike was 3.9 kilometers or 2.5 miles long as a round trip, with an elevation gain and loss of 210 meters or 700 feet. The ridge provides very nice views of the many lakes in the Sabrina Basin and also the surrounding mountains. On our last day, our fourth day, we hiked out from Moonlight Falls to the Sabrina Lake trailhead. We basically hiked back the same way we came in, along beautiful topsy-turvy Dingleberry, Emerald, Blue, and Sabrina Lake. This was definitely our longest hike with 9.8 kilometers or 6.1 miles and an elevation loss of 620 meters or 2,000 feet. Sabrina Basin has a special meaning for us ever since we first saw it more than 20 years ago with our young children. And it is actually also a great backpacking trip for beginners.